Hello, guys, and happy Friday. I hope your week has went well. I have a very, very special guest on tonight for Indie Spotlight special edition episode with me and Cynda Williams, a legendary actress, singer, and someone that is very talented, and I am so excited and happy to be able to interview. I hope your week and your weekend is going well. Whenever Cynda comes in, she will join us, and I will invite her to the camera. So I hope everything's coming on great. Okay, awesome. So I'm really excited to talk to her about everything and find out what she's been up to. And I hope you guys have been making it through these trying times in the pandemic, and I hope everything's going well with you. So volume, is there volume? Okay, so let me make sure that there's no volume. Let's make sure that there's no volume, a volume discrepancy or something going on here. Can everyone hear me now? No one can hear me. You can? Okay, you can. All right, so just waiting. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Thank you for letting me know to turn up my thank you for letting me know to turn up my volume and everything. Thank you. Okay, this is an internet show, so please keep your comments brief and your comments brief and respectable. And we're just waiting for our guests to come in. So I normally say thank God it's Friday, but I know some people work beyond there, have different shifts when they work. So, but I mean, I'm still happy that we made it to Friday with something like this. So, okay, that's all we're doing. So we're just waiting. I can take a few questions if anybody wants to ask any questions. Oh, there's Cynda. I'm gonna ask her to join it live. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Oh
Good,
my
good.
gosh, you don't know, girl. I just been running. Oh my gosh. Is it okay that I'm vertical or do I have
Oh
to
yeah,
be?
no, you're fine. I can see you fine. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited to be able to interview you. I would never think that I would ever get that opportunity too, but I'm happy. Um, how's your Friday going? How you doing?
Well, I literally just ran in the house, okay? I have been all week with my little sister who's pregnant with twins, 7 months pregnant with
Oh,
twins,
oh,
had to move.
congratulations.
And so I'm telling you, I look so horrible. I was like, my other sister bringing me home. I'm like, hurry up. I get ready. I have to look presentable. I mean, boom, 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 in, real quick. But I made it, so I'm happy.
Awesome.
Um,
I'm happy that you were able to make it and to take the time out to talk to me for a while. Um, I normally ask everyone like, what area are you from, or what area did you grow up in?
Originally Chicago. I'm from the
Uh-huh.
Chicago South Side, as they call the hundreds today.
Okay.
I'm from there originally, back in the days when Black people first moved in. And
Okay.
I think I was my family was the second Black family to move in when I was 5. We from originally from the west side, and then we moved to the south side, and then I lived in Indiana for high school and college. So I was conceived in Indiana. So I'm kind of from both.
Oh,
My parents,
oh.
well, my mom's from Indiana, my father's from Ohio. hmm
Um, so what inspired you to start acting and like and singing and stuff like
When I was born, my
that?
my family was very oriented towards music and poetry and reading and all of these things. And my uncle was a professional singer.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, and he lived with us. He lived in our basement. We had a finished basement, and he stayed with us for a while. And he had a band, and he was amazing. And when I was
Wow.
very small, my cousin and I, his son and I, would go and watch him rehearse. And I wanted to do that. I was like, that's what I want to do. And then he started working with me. As a child,
Oh,
he started in the basement with his keyboards and teaching me how to sing. And I had a knack for it. It started with music and transitioned into acting later. But I started off as a singer, yeah. James Williams.
oh,
Mhm.
oh, wow. That's really inspirational. That's something.
Mhm.
Um, no, because I was like, I so um I think like one of my like first films of like remembering you is Mo Better Blues.
Mhm.
I'm like, y'all know like what's going on up in here. Like
Mhm.
that was one of the best films and well and a excellent soundtrack. So that's like where I first heard your song.
Mhm.
So um where can everybody like find like your social media platforms? I normally try to ask everybody that because like
Right off the bat, I get it. Yeah, because sometimes you can run out of time. You're like, girl, I don't know how. Right here on Instagram,
Mhm,
Cynda Will. Um,
mhm,
I also have Cynda Williams. I have 2 pages, but I only really mess with one. And I
mhm,
can see Wiz on here. Hey, man. And some people, they know how to find me. The other one, I don't even know if people are on there because I need to check it, but I don't.
okay.
Um,
Mhm,
so that's that. And then in Facebook, I'm very active there. I have 3 pages that are mine. I have
okay.
Cynda Williams page, Cynda
Mhm,
Will, and then the official fan page of Cindy Williams. There's a couple of
okay.
other pages that aren't mine that are fan created. So when you go on there, you kind of got to make sure it's me. But they do just take material right off of my pages and put it on their stuff. So it's almost like, it's the same thing in a way, but you won't get to talk to me on there because I'm not on there. I don't communicate with people on those pages because they're not mine. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I also was happy about how easy it was for me to actually communicate with you. Like I see that Instagram like opened up a different door where you can actually communicate and actually like
Mm-hmm.
get things done with artists. So I think that we're very fortunate to have something like that. Um, so normally I know Instagram only lets you go live for like about an hour. So like I normally stop at like 6:55 or something like that because I know like you said you'll cut off in the middle you'll cut off in the middle of it and be
Mm-hmm.
like really upset.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask, what's the best advice you would give someone that is starting out to be an artist or an actress or just like to start on the business?
Well, first I'll start at the basics because it's a different world now than it used to be, totally different than when I was coming up. But certain things stay the same. One,
Mhm.
some kind of education is very important. I mean, you can literally never have done this stuff at all and just have a great personality and break in. And you can get in and you can be a really big star really fast, but you don't have longevity often because you can only just be the same person, you know. And there's only a few select few that can play themselves over and over and over again that people are interested in. So if you want a real career that lasts forever, as an actor, that is, you need to
Yeah.
have some kind of skill set. And I've been, and there's a way to To be educated now would not go to a 4-year school. If you want to go to a 4-year school, that's what I did, and it was a great
Mhm.
education. Um, it was awesome because I got to learn other things that helped me in life, just like core
Yeah.
classes and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I was a theater major at the time. They didn't, back in those days, they didn't have musical theater. So if I had
Mhm.
started school probably 10 years ago, it would have been a musical theater thing because I was a
Mhm.
singer and an actress.
Yeah.
Um, but now you can take workshops, you can take classes, you can read, you can do online courses, you can coach. There's all these ways to learn your craft without spending tons of money anymore. But it's
Yeah.
important that you actually do it, right? You
Mhm.
actually need to consistently work on your craft. Just like a doctor say that you're constantly having to learn new skills, you have to too. You have to stay fresh and keep going, and you will have more longevity because you'll be able to do more than you.
Yeah.
You can do more than you. And so I would say education, a real strong sense of grounding somewhere.
Mm.
Know who you are, whatever it is that appeals to your spiritual growth. If you're a Christian, Buddhist, if you're a person that doesn't believe in God, but you believe in nature, whatever it is you believe in, find the grounding for that. Because it is a difficult business. It can be very dark. There's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of no's. I mean, you can be the most beautiful person, the best actor, the best whatever, and hear no 95% of the time. I did. I've worked a lot,
Mhm.
but I heard no over and over and over again. So you have to know who you are and understand that it's not personal most of the time. It's nothing
Mhm.
to do with you. Sometimes it's personal when they want you to sleep with them and you say no. Then they'll
I'm
then
so
they
happy.
won't hire you. That's real. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but most of the time, if you don't get the part, it's because they have someone else in mind, or they
Mhm.
have a look in mind, or you don't, or you look like their ex and they don't like that, or there's all
Mhm.
kind of reasons why you might not get the role. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with your abilities, your looks. So you have to know who you are, trust the process, trust God or whoever, trust
Mhm.
your own abilities, and don't give up. Just keep on pushing. That is the main things I would say for that thing. Now, when it comes to how to do this stuff now on a technical thing,
Mhm.
now you have a whole new world. Before, when I was young, I had to choose, do I sing, do I act? Because at the time you didn't do both. Way
Mhm.
before that you did, right? But in this
Right.
time, in the 90s, late 80s, you had to pick one. You had to pick
Mhm.
TV, you had to pick movies. Now you can pretty much do everything. And there's
Mhm.
all kinds of programming for you. There's options, there's all kind of channels. So there's a lot of opportunities. And as you know, we're sitting here talking, social media can be your friend. You have
Mhm.
to be active on social media. You have to be a presence there. Now it used to be the first thing that they looked at when you came in is who your energy when you walked in the door. And if you had an energy that was similar to what they wanted for the character. Now,
Mm.
before you can walk in the door, they look at your numbers. How many friends do you have? What's your media social media presence? You have to
Mhm.
have one today. You,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they don't want to work. They don't have to work with somebody that's got, a certain amount of friends. They already have a built-in audience for you, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to reinvent you because you are already there. People know who you are.
Mhm.
You have a fan base. That many people will go and see your project or support you possibly. So you got to do it. And you can make your own movies, iPhones or whatever. There's all kind of ways you can make your own, stuff and say,
Yeah.
here, this is what I am. This is what I do. But I would also suggest that you don't just depend on what you make up or what you improv. Actually learn real text, real scenes. You can find stuff on TV. If you find a monologue somebody says on TV, memorize it, learn it, learn how to completely uh,
Mm.
learn other people's work exactly as it's written. Don't
Mm.
improv all the time. Knowing how to improv is a good skill. Knowing how to memorize something completely is another skill if you want to go beyond independent. You know, if you want
Mm.
to do mainstream, big studio stuff, they don't play if you mess with
Mm.
their lines. They don't want you changing their lines. And a lot of people don't know that.
Wow. So I like your what you were talking about, like your perspective in telling like tips and stuff like that. Because like sometimes when I ask people, they don't really go into depth that far, and I like a lot of details. So I do thank you for
Mhm.
speaking about it like that and knowing like to have adaptability to
Mhm.
be able to adapt into a bunch of stuff. You also you host two podcasts, right?
Well, actually, okay. A lot of people have a different meaning for podcasts. So
Yeah.
I have the traditional podcast, one podcast, which is all audio. I produce a
Okay.
podcast, pre-produced. I have a guest on. I talk to a guest. I might, if they're a musician, I feature their music, and then I talk about it. It's kind of a self-help thing, a self-love platform.
Wow. That's
So I
awesome.
have that, and that's on Anchor and Spotify and iTunes and Apple, all that, right? But then I
Hmm.
also am on two different radio shows. Those are, people call them podcasts, but it's really radio because
Okay, radio.
it plays on terrestrial and it plays on streaming. But we do it
Oh,
live. hmm We do it live, and it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, it's on a whole bunch of different platforms at the same time. We restream, so you're seeing it's seen everywhere. So I do a show on Wednesdays and Thursdays called the Melanated Morning Show, which is
hmm.
a bunch of fun. My The producer and the owner of the station, his name is DJ Kid Disco. He and I
Okay.
just banter and talk about hot topics and fun things, funny things, serious things. We have comments from people. We include them. We have guests. We're going to really start taking calls because people really want to express themselves. We're going to take calls. So we do
Sure.
that. That's from 10 to 12 Eastern. He's in
Hmm.
Philly too. Most of them are in
Oh,
Philadelphia. Yeah.
wow.
Um, and so we do that. And then on Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern, I do my own show, which is the continuation of my podcast. Podcast is called the PPC Podcast, powerful personal conversation. And
Mm.
the radio show is PPC Radio Show. So whoever I had on my podcast was going to come on the radio show, and then we have 2 hours to talk. And well, actually not 2 hours, about an hour and 40 minutes with commercials and everything. And we have music at the end. So the only way to hear the music is on any other platform, but you can't hear it on Facebook because Facebook cuts it off. But
Yeah, yeah.
but we do a
Mm.
music mix that's inspired by our topic, and that, like I said, it's like a self-help thing. And I have professional therapists, I have pastors, I
Oh,
have nutritionists, I have people that are professionals in the field, depending on the theme. So,
that's we definitely need that.
mhm.
That's definitely good to hear because our mental health been underneath a lot of strain because of what's been been up because of what's been happening. I also wanted to ask, do you have any so I know like you have it's like a lot of different media platforms. Do you have any like music on anywhere like on Spotify or iTunes or any
Well, you
have you
know
recorded
what?
any music?
I was so upset. For years I've sung, but it's always been live. I haven't done a
Oh, got
whole
you.
lot of recording. I've done a lot of, singing in movies and stuff, but I haven't done a
Yeah,
whole lot of
yeah.
my own personal music. So I started recording with some guys in Philly. Well,
Oh,
New Jersey, New Jersey, Philly. And we were doing whatever it's called, a DP or something. I don't know what it's called, but
okay.
like about 6, 7 songs, and then COVID hit and
Oh,
everything fell apart, right? Because I was flying there to do my recording. So I'm just now starting to get back into the music. It's kind of hard because I got so many things going on. Along with the radio and podcasting, I'm also a
It's a
writer.
lot. Yeah.
I'm an actress. So
Oh.
I'm trying to schedule things so that I can sing
Mm.
too. And it looks like I'm getting ready to do a project with the guy out of Atlanta. He wants me on his thing. I'm getting ready to do a song for the soundtrack of a movie I'm in called Mad as Hell that's coming out this summer.
Okay.
Um,
Oh,
so,
okay.
so stuff is coming. Stuff is coming.
Oh, awesome. Will your movie be like on demand, or you haven't finished with all
No,
that yet?
it's almost done.
Oh,
We're
okay.
there on post production. They're finishing it up now, polishing it, and now we're doing the soundtrack. So it's almost there. So it should be. He was talking about June or something, and it'll be on a bunch of different streamings. I don't know all of them, like
Okay.
Tubi and Prime and a whole bunch of other stuff. You know.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, what I want to ask. Oh no, I was looking at your profile and I seen you have a very beautiful daughter. Does your daughter do in oh sorry. Sorry, it just pixelated for a minute. I said I was looking at your profile and see you have a very beautiful daughter. Is she an artist or actress, model?
She wants to be a model. She's just starting to do a little bit of that, but she's in school right now and they're
Oh,
not allowed to work. She is,
oh, okay.
yeah, they're not allowed to work because I think they had students and when they could work, they would get a job and then quit school. So
Okay.
it's called AMDA, Academy
Mhm.
of Music and Dramatic Arts in New York City. So
Oh,
she's following in my footsteps. I never thought, because she was a basketball player all the way through
oh.
high school, and I thought that's what she was going to do. She got some offers. She was like, "Nah, I want to act." Yeah. So that's what she's doing now. Yeah, and she's loving it.
She left.
Hmm.
Wow, I would think like yeah, probably like she was probably born with a lot of that in her because her mother is a
She's
talented actress.
super talented. She really, I never pushed her because I wanted her to do
Mm-hmm.
whatever she wanted to do. And she did
Mm-hmm.
several projects with me, but there was a point in her life, she's super shy, like I was. And there was a point in her
Oh.
life where she just didn't want to do it. And I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. I mean, she got offered a series in Singapore. We lived in
Wow.
Singapore and she didn't want to do it. And I was like, okay, all right. So I didn't think she'd come back to it, but she is back in it and she loves it. So I'm excited for her and
Wow.
I'm trying to help her as
She's
much as I
yeah.
can. And her dad is a producer and
Oh,
he's also helping her out. So yeah,
that's
but she
so
can
that
do it on her own. She's good.
I'm
Hmm.
sure. That's awesome that she has like that her dad is a producer and that you have like a nice amount of insight and you have like longevity and you were
Yeah.
in some of my favorite movies. Yeah, some of my favorite movies.
Thank you. I talk to her every day. She calls me every day about advice, and it's so cool that your grown daughter still wants your advice. So I love it.
Do you have any products or merchandise for sale?
You know what? I don't at this point. I did for a little bit. I need to get back into that. I need to push it,
Mhm.
but actually, I had to rebrand myself. The PPC used to stand for Pink Panty Confessions,
Okay.
but too many of my male followers and friends were confusing what that was about. They all thought it
Um,
had to do with sexuality and all of that, but really what it is, it's a drink, the pink panties. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but
oh,
it's a West Coast drink that my friends and I used to drink and talk and vent and confess. And so I had to rebrand because there was too much confusion and I didn't want
sure.
anybody to be confused. So I just made it an acronym, changed what it meant, and so I
Yeah.
have to do a whole new a logo. I have to do all new branding. So
Hmm.
I will have some. Keep watching my pages. You'll see it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So you did like rebrand you did rebrand like the name and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I noticed like if you're acting or you're singing, um I went to like community college of Philadelphia and the main campus for vocal performance. But I noticed that rebranding is very serious because like now that we're on the internet and everybody looks for instant gratification and stuff, you're constantly redoing a lot of stuff and you're retaining more skills on
You
how
have
to do
to
things for
evolve.
yourself.
Yeah.
Evolve. Yeah, yeah.
You have to change. You have to evolve because we're constantly changing and evolving, you know?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
not saying don't be true to yourself. You got to be true to yourself, but at the same time, you have to adapt. And,
yeah.
a lot of people felt my age fell by the wayside because they just were not willing to adapt. They did not want to change. They didn't want to grow. They wanted things to stay the same. They disrespected the system as it was becoming. And I'm like, that's
Mm,
cool. I understand. You can make your choice like that. But I like to work and I like to create. So I'm gonna
right.
shift and change. I'm not gonna lose my integrity. I'm gonna still be myself, but at the same time, I'm going to learn how to do things now. And
Yeah.
it just takes someone that is willing to shift and change with the times. That's all.
Awesome, awesome. I did want to ask like about like when you like audition for like Mo Better Blues, what was it like?
Whew, wow.
I don't know if
Well,
I'm going too far, but I'm just curious. I'm curious personally for myself.
no, no, that's cool. Okay. First of all, I have been acting since I was 5, so I was very good. I was good, and I had been educated. I had been acting for many years, but I was a theater actress. I didn't know anything about movies, but I lived in the Midwest and I started auditioning in the Midwest and I couldn't get a job because of the way I looked.
Mm-hmm.
They were more about commercials
Mm-hmm.
and, industrials and things like that. So they look at me, they're like, "What are you?" Because back in those days, there weren't that many people that looked like me unless they lived down in New Orleans, right? They just didn't look
Mm-hmm.
like me. There was like small pockets of places where people were lighter, fairer people, and so they could not say what I was. I didn't look black, but I am black. I didn't look white because I'm not white. I'm got white in me. And most people assumed I was Hispanic, and there was no market at that time for Hispanics in the Midwest because they hadn't come here yet. So every casting director was like, "You're so good, but you need to leave. You need to go to either New York or California. There's a market for your look there. You're not going to work here." And they
Wow.
also said, "You need to reconsider and do movies because you are a great actress. You can do the theater, you can sing and all of that, but you have a quality about you that fits with movie storytelling." So
Mm.
I didn't know what that meant because I didn't study to be an actress on film. I wasn't even a watcher of films. I didn't watch movies. I watched a few here and there for fun at the drive-in with my parents, but I was a theater girl and a church girl. That's where I did my stuff. And so when I moved to New York City to do Broadway, that was my intention. I got a job like everybody in a restaurant. I was working in a restaurant, and all these people kept coming up and like, "Are you going to try out for a Spike Lee's movie? Are you going to do his new movie?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm a fan. I was a fan. I had seen School Days. I had seen She's Gotta Have It. So I was a
Mm-hmm.
fan, but I wasn't like a fanatic fan. I was
Right.
just like,
Right.
he's cool, that's cool, but what? Okay. Too many people said something to me about it. I was new. I had no movie credits to my name, no nothing except for theater. And it was regional, college, community. It wasn't professional. I mean, it was professional, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I did what, they told you to do in school. I found myself, no, somebody brought me a backstage. newspaper. They showed me the casting director's information and said, check it out. So I did. I told my boss, they knew I was an actress. I said, I'm going to go try to get an audition for this movie, Spike Lee's movie. And they're like, okay, cool, go on and do it. They were really awesome. I went to the casting office and nobody was there from Spike's group. Nobody was there. And they were supposed to be there at 8 a.m. And I had my book. I sat down. It was a casting office, so there were casting directors all the way around. And I sat down and I just read my book until 11 in the morning. I just read. And people kept coming over and like, who are you here for? And I would tell them, and they're like, they're not here. Yes, I know. Are you okay? Yeah. Do you want something? No. You're fine? I'm fine. Well, because I was like that, just kind of normal Midwestern girl, wasn't tripping about waiting, wasn't none of that. They were impressed with me. So when the casting director came in, she got bombarded with all these other casting directors saying, give her a chance. She has been here since 8 o'clock this morning. She has not tripped for 1 second. Give her a shot. And she came over to me and she told me what happened. And she's like, you want to audition? She said, there weren't supposed to be any auditions today, but since everybody is saying this, do you want to audition? I said, yeah. So I went in and she gave me some of the sides. It turns out the next day was the big audition. I was there a day early. And she let me do it. And she goes, you're great. She had me sing. She did the sides with me. And she said, you want to meet Spike tomorrow? I said, yep. She said, come back tomorrow. So I did. And that was the beginning of a 6-week process of auditions. I auditioned. I thought I auditioned 6 times, but I don't know because I saw an interview with myself 30 years ago. And I said 4 times. I thought it was 6. It was 6 weeks for sure. But throughout the entire process, he was calling me every day, all day, talking about the character, building the character. What would you do in this situation? What would you do in that situation? Giving me movies to watch, giving me music to listen to. It was a learning process the entire time. And then I got it. So it was great. It was a really intensive 6 weeks of my life. But I wasn't desperate. I wanted it, but I was like, I'm here to do Broadway. So if this don't work out, I'll get Broadway. I'm not worried about that. So it was a good thing. It worked out. And then I ended up loving movies.
I also remember you also starred in Caught Up, right? So you can just tell me a little bit briefly about that, and then I'll ask you a couple other questions.
Sure.
I don't want to before I run out of time.
Caught Up with Darren Scott was had written several other films, really well-known films, and he wanted his shot at directing. So he wrote this by himself, not with a partner. And in the script, it said for the character, describing her, and then in parentheses it said someone like Cynda Williams. And the studio was like, why someone like Cynda Williams? Why not Cynda Williams? So they found me. They caught up with me. I sat down with him. We clicked. He's like, would you do this movie? I was like, yeah, I'll do this movie. So I didn't have to audition for that. But I helped him with the casting of the other characters. So I was a part of that process for them. Bokeem, it was between him and 2 other guys. And I didn't have a say. I just read with them and gave, talked to the director, talked to producers about my thoughts. And so that's how that one happened.
That is awesome. So due to COVID-19 shutdowns and stuff like that, where do you see the near future of like acting and music and stuff?
Well, music, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know because, like I said, primarily I'm a live singer. You know, I
Yeah.
prefer doing live intimate clubs, stuff like that. And I don't know when and if and how that's ever coming back. Studio stuff will happen. People will always get in the studio and make their music. So hopefully I get to do that. Movies, we're back. We're working again. We're open to back up. It's just a lot of really strict rules. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more difficult for an independent film to get made unless they have a lot of money. Because the COVID part of doing a SAG film is very expensive. Because they have to have nurses, they have to have a monitor on the set that they have to pay. It's a lot of extra money to um to do a film now for independent films. So I was attached to a lot of great movies, really good movies that haven't been made yet because they have to raise the money for the COVID part of it. Um,
Oh,
but but we need programming. Obviously, everybody was watching TV and hungry for it. They were all watching, movies and everything. So
yeah.
we're back to work, and it's very exciting to be back.
That is awesome. That's
Mhm.
good. What do you so do have you been like behind the scenes, like as far as like directing or consulting or anything like that with
I
actors,
definitely
actresses?
consult, and usually they call that a producer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm a writer. I
Oh,
write. So I'm doing rewrites for other people. I'm writing from scratch for other people. I write for myself. And my projects I'm working on getting produced.
mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited because I got some stuff in the works for that. So I I'm the type of anal person that if I don't have a real skill at something, I'm not going to mess something up. So a lot of people have asked me to direct. I'm like, no, let's get a director to direct. I'm an actress, I'm a writer, I can develop, I can coach, I can
Mm-hmm.
produce to a certain, I can help you develop your project, but I'm
Right.
not gonna try to pretend like I know what the lighting happens or not. But some people have said to me, hey, all you got to do is get a great cinematographer, great key artist to help you. So for some of mine, I might end up directing, but I wouldn't direct for somebody else. I want to work with some of my director friends like Christopher Nolan, um, Mark Harris,
Yeah.
Lawrence Wallace. I'm calling them if there's something that comes up that I think they'd be great at and work with me on them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that makes a lot of sense as uh because like acting and music and stuff do have a lot of collaborations. It doesn't have to be a huge team, but like you said, like you have everybody that have their what they're best at,
I
if you
don't,
will.
I like an ensemble. I like a group of people working together. I have never been into doing everything by myself. That's boring to me. I like me, but not that well. I want to work with other people. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
let them excel. Let's make this beautiful salad bowl of greatness together instead of all tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
want different ideas. Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes as like like online creators, they might take on too many roles and too many things is going on, and like you said, be like that salad bowl. Let's help each other create stuff. That's how stuff it gets done and how it gets done well. I
And
mean,
how it gets done together and we help each other. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And one of
yeah,
the jobs that a lot of people think they can do that don't many people don't know how to do is really produce. There are
mm,
people that are trained to be a producer. Not everybody knows how to do that. It's a
hmm,
difficult job because really you're kind of like the leader, right? You're the one putting
mm,
all the pieces. You get the director. You make sure you get the right pieces together. And if a producer is trying to direct and trying to write and trying to act and trying to do all this kind of stuff, it's too big a job. And you can tell in the quality of the film
yes,
if somebody tries to do too much.
definitely, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be looking at I do look at films and stuff and videos and stuff and I'll be like, wow, and I look at other films and be like, wow, this was directed excellently, or how the
Mhm.
person did it, and also who they place which character with. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, like made the films and stuff better. So then I normally reiterate and ask again like where everybody can find you at, because
Mhm.
people only like think of like 3 or 4 different places. They don't think of Instagram, Facebook, hit
Hmm.
YouTube. But there's so
Yeah.
many other streams out there that people are on. But
Yeah, you can
definitely.
also find me on LinkedIn. That's
Mhm.
LinkedIn is a good one. I actually have met a lot of great people that I've worked with. And then, if you listen in on my shows and stuff, I PPC, what is it called? I can't even remember. Self Heal. PPC Self Heal at gmail.com. And you can contact me directly if you have ideas or like you want to be a guest on one of my shows.
Mhm.
I don't accept everybody. You got to have something to share. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
gotta be. If you're a singer, you gotta be good at it.
Mhm.
I like quality, but
Yeah.
you can reach out.
Yes. The internet. Yeah. The internet does need to. Well, they don't have it, but yeah, it is a lot of quality control. It should be a lot of more quality control and quality assurance.
Hmm.
Quality assurance.
Yeah.
But um, I hope that like one day like I'll do something with you or see you or come out to like a show or something. Hopefully when everything gets better.
Well,
Or
I'm coming out. I'm coming to Philly soon. I'm not sure when. I'm supposed to do a project out there, and I'm like the guys that I was working with on music. We're still doing stuff, and my DJ Kid Disco is from out there. Shelly Shell Williams is my girl.
yeah,
She's my co-host on PPC, so I'm sure I'll get to meet you. And
yeah.
actually, you seem like you're doing a lot. Maybe you can be a guest on one of my shows.
Yeah, yeah, I will
Mhm.
definitely be open to that in the future. I just noticed that I'm happy and I tried to thank the guests and let them know that that I was actually able to reach out to them, you know.
Mhm.
I was actually able to reach out to them and everything like went smoothly and stuff like that and
Mhm.
trying to learn how to like go through having a vlogcast and knowing how to do it and how to speak to people and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, where you're at now, how's the weather there? Like where you're at? Because I know it
Chilly.
got really, really cold in Philly. Okay, it got
Yeah.
really, really cold in Philly.
Yeah, the temperatures dropped. It was really bad in Chicago. I mean, cold. I'm like I said, I was moving stuff and I'm freezing, but at least I wasn't too hot. But yeah, it's chilly, but it's supposed to get up into the 70s this weekend. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome. Is there any do you have any like I know you were talking about your projects, but what were like the some of the artists or bands you were working with?
You know what? The bands were people you would never know.
Okay.
I was working with local groups. Some people
Hmm.
might know Your Way, the West Group. It was a jazz band
Hmm.
that a friend of mine, Dr. William E. Smith, it was his band. I did a lot of performances in DC with him. Robert Wamba band in New York City and Washington DC. Did a lot of stuff with him. Chicago, I had a band there. Ronnie G. The Ronnie G Players was that band. So, and then I got a guy that I'm just met. Another guy. What's his name? I'm not remembering his name right now, but so I like sit in all over the place,
Hmm.
and but I don't have my own band.
Okay.
I've never had
Okay.
my own band. I've just always worked with other people that were already established, and I come in and do shows with them and go home. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, let me see what else. What I want. Oh, so if you had a shot to like work with somebody that you've never worked with before, um, I'm sorry, I want to ask 2 questions actually. The first
Mhm.
one is if you had a shot to work with someone in like the music industry, whether it's a producer or artist, who would you like? Who would you like work with? Right?
Mm.
Or is it hard?
Well,
I know that's hard.
they're old school to some people now, but I am old school too. So anybody related to Prince, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis, I would
Yeah.
love to work with them because that was my favorite music. And though my voice may not, it's a little bit more I don't even know what to call my voice because it can go on to a lot of different genres. It's more of a pure tone. I don't do a lot of runs and stuff. But if they can work with Janet Jackson, they could work with me, you know. And it would be an adult, you know, it wouldn't be me dancing around on nobody's stage, although I can move, but I am no Janet Jackson. I would, that would be a dream. It was Prince until he left us, you know.
So he left us really soon,
Mm-hmm.
too soon. But yeah, no, I think that would be actually a great collaboration because I think like, yeah, that's like the kind of music that like I sing or would like that I like to listen to. You can learn like so much about stuff like about older music, so much. And if you did have a chance to work with, when you make like someone to work with like movies, like who would you want to work with, like a director or producer, actor, or film?
There's a woman, her name is Victoria Mahoney. When I first started in the business, she was also an actress, and she and I were friends for a short time. I think she moved back to New York, so we lost touch. But now she is making the most phenomenal work. She was the first woman to ever be one of the directors on the last Star Wars movie. But she's just, the very first film she ever wrote and directed, well, I don't know if she might have wrote something before that, but she wrote and directed this movie called Yelling to the Sky, and I was supposed to play her sister, and it was a beautiful film, and I always wanted to do it. And then I heard just last year that she ended up doing that movie in New York with Zoe Kravitz. You know,
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
yeah,
that was Zoe Kravitz.
yeah, she did with Zoe Kravitz, and she is really blown up. And I loved her. I loved her, and I don't know her anymore. It's been so many years, but I loved her spirit, and her writing was poetic. I would love to work with her.
You'll love to work with her. Awesome, awesome. So what else I want to ask? So I wanted to also ask about the podcasts. Can any of them be watched on Instagram, or is this they're being, I know they're being streamed over several platforms. I'm trying to remember where to watch.
The PPC show, the PPC radio show, I'm pretty sure that streams over Instagram. Like I said, they use Restream, so they're on multiple platforms. But most people that communicate with me are on Facebook. Most of them come to what I started doing, because I mean, we really started from the ground level. When we started working together, it was a brand new station, everything. So I just started inviting people personally, sending invites to people. And I share it on as many groups as I can. I share it with friends. And I'm just going through my friends and building my audience that way. Because I got a lot of those, and it's growing. But most people that communicate and comment are from Facebook. We haven't had any comments from. So if you came to my page any of those Wednesday or Thursday, you would see it, and you can you can share it, you can click on it, you can participate, you can comment, whatever. And pretty soon you'll be able to talk if you want to
call and talk. I remember what made me start doing everything on Instagram was somehow I got locked out of Facebook for like a half an hour, and it kind of like forced me to learn how to do Instagram, because I normally be on Facebook more than I be on Instagram. But okay, so I would find you at Cynda Williams on Facebook, and then you said there was a few fan pages too, so I don't want to.
Yeah, I would say inbox me, and then you will know. If you inbox me at the wrong place, I won't respond. But if you inbox me and then for you, I would like to make you a friend. I think I have 5 spots left, but I stopped people that I don't communicate with this level. I stopped accepting friends I don't know, because it's too many people in there, and I keep telling people either follow me or go to the fan page, because that can be however many people.
Sure.
But anybody can inbox me.
Okay, so I'll make sure that I'll tune on and get back into looking at Facebook and stuff like that, because I'm looking at like a lot of things that were new, and now like you ever see like it's things start to look dated.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, how am I looking at like YouTube and it's looking like dated?
Yeah.
But the thing that's good about YouTube is that you can archive a lot of stuff there. It holds a lot of stuff for a long period of time.
Yeah. I am really bad with YouTube. I have so much material that I need to upload and have not. I need to hire somebody to do it for me because it's just too much work that I don't have time to do. But yeah,
Uh,
and a friend of mine is starting a similar platform to YouTube. Um, and the people that by the first click, they don't have to wait till they have so many. By the first click, they start making money off of it. So
wow,
yeah, I'm gonna be on his
wow.
platform. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. He's actually on my show this week on
Oh,
Wednesday from 2 to 4. His name is Omar McClinton, and he'll be on
okay.
there, and he'll be talking
So
about
he's
that.
making his own platform. So he'll be talking about making his own platform.
Yeah, he's already done it.
Oh,
It's just about, he's been beta testing it and now he's going to go live with it. And I know
oh
that my
wow.
podcast is going to be on there and probably eventually my radio shows. Yeah.
Wow, that'll be super interesting to look at, to be able
Mm-hmm.
to create another like a video or streaming platform because it's so much different stuff out. I didn't even know how much when you become or when you're going to be like doing entertainment, how much stuff that you need to know on like the tech world.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is ruled by everything is ruled by a computer and an app. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's our complete whole life. That's our
Yeah,
lives right now. Is that
it is. It is.
it?
Mhm.
um. Well, I'm trying to see if I have one more question before I finish. Before I finish. So I don't think that I have any more questions. I don't know if you had any questions for me before I wrap up the interview. Um, I didn't know if you have any questions or not.
No, but
No.
I listened to you, so I got that you're a singer. I see that you're a
Yeah.
beautiful woman,
Thank you.
and honestly, when I shared your story, a lot of people followed me from you, so I know you have a lot of supporters. So looks like you're doing
Yeah.
your thing. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So I want to wrap up the interview and I want to tell you thank you again for coming on. Thank you for giving me your time and thank you for talking to me about one of the best films, one of the films that I love. So like when I went to school at Temple University, I always talked about that. I always talked about everything, about the whole soundtrack and everything. And actually wanted to sing your song for like one of the auditions into like the
Okay,
band. Yeah, for one of the bands. My
nice.
mom actually suggested it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I thank you for coming on. Thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Cynda. And I'll be trying to get to your podcast and viewing it and seeing the next things that you're up to.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Goodbye,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.